Hello, my friend, and welcome to another episode of the Red Delta Project podcast, where we teach you how to maximize your results with minimalist fitness strategies. My name is Matt Schifferly, founder of the Red Delta Project and author of several books, including Grind Style Calisthenics and Smart Bodyweight Training. And from the looks of it, I'm also sporting a little bit of a raccoon face there. Should have worn some sunscreen today when I went skiing out at Winter Park. It was a beautiful day, but there it goes for you. I gotta learn to wear my sunscreen, which leads me into today's major lesson. Last week, I posted a video which I thought was a very interesting perspective. The perspective that self-knowledge and awareness is more important than all of the other information that we have like out on the internet, which is a very interesting way to look at it, because right now, especially with the internet, we've got this idea floating around in our fitness culture that the information you need to get results is floating out there somewhere in the digital ether. Meanwhile, we also have a lot of rhetoric saying, don't trust yourself. Don't listen to yourself. Ignore your hunger, ignore your fatigue, ignore the signals your body is giving you. Be blind to your own personal self and trust the stuff that's external to you. But the lesson from last week's video was that we've got it backwards. Very interesting. Check it out here if you want to learn more. But in the comments section that I was scrolling through, because yes, I always read the comments, there was an idea that kept popping up from people saying that this sounds great. This sounds like something I'd love to do. However, a lack of self-esteem or self-confidence is preventing some of you from making that happen. And this is a very big problem within our fitness culture that can significantly hold you back, because most of what needs to be done for you to make your best decisions about what's actually best for you isn't going to come from an external source. It's not going to come from a study. It's not going to come from information like a YouTube video. It's not going to come from me. It's going to come from your own self-awareness and confidence in yourself to make the right call. And I know that's a tall order, but today I want to share with you some perspectives that can make that a lot easier. Because if you don't trust yourself to make the best decisions, there's a whole host of negative things that can happen. There can be paralysis by analysis. You can spend untold amounts of time, energy, maybe even money just wandering around our fitness landscape, hoping that somewhere out there is the answer you're magically looking for. And even if you do need to do things, you have trouble pulling the trigger and making that sort of a decision. So coming to this idea that you have a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem is unfortunately one of the foundations in our fitness culture, because a lot of people come to fitness because they want to build their self-confidence. They want to feel more confident in their body. They want to feel they have more self-esteem in themselves by building themselves up. But you're going to have trouble doing that if you don't have the self-confidence and self-esteem to make the right choices to actually get there. So it's a perpetual cycle of you don't have self-confidence, so you don't make the right choices, therefore you don't get the results, and you feel bad about that, and it's just this endless cycle. So we're going to reverse it. So you have confidence, and then you make the right choices, and you get better results, and it feeds itself going the other way. One of the biggest reasons why we have this low self-confidence and self-esteem in our fitness culture isn't necessarily because of anything direct, but there's still these very subliminal undertones in our fitness culture that are a holdover from our Puritan approaches to discipline, work, and self-development. Because if you look in our history of our past, of how fitness as we approach it got developed, a lot of it's not based on science. A lot of it isn't based on real honest logic and how the body works and everything. A lot of it's still based on our attitudes and approaches to the body that are based on like Puritan work ethics, religious rhetoric sort of ideas. Like sometimes, even today in modern society, you go into some religious and doctrines and you get bombarded with all of these messages about how you're the problem, you're the sinner, you're the weak one, you're the one who's doomed to all hell of fire of eternity and all these sorts of things, and you're the one who's going to rape and pillage and steal and do all these terrible things, and you're the sorry sinner. But you need the Messiah, you need the religion, you need the church, you need whatever it is to come in and save you from yourself. And believe it or not, this is where a lot of our approaches to health and fitness come from. Even back in the day, the idea was like the graham cracker. Mr. Graham, he invented the graham cracker to be a boring, bland, not the sweet taste treat that we use for s'mores these days, but it was literally designed to inhibit the sins of the flesh, in other words, all those sexual desires, especially in teenage boys, because yeah, good luck with that, right? But his whole idea was if you eat boring, bland food, then that's going to subdue the desire of the pleasures of the flesh. And that's how the original graham cracker got invented, was you eat this boring, bland stuff, and that is your way to moral salvation. And this stuff is carried over. You can see it now. You see it a menu at a store, and it's like sinful chocolate cake, right? There's nothing sinful about eating chocolate cake, but it's like, oh, I was so bad this weekend. I ate these cookies. I slipped on my diet. We feel bad about ourselves. We feel like we should go to confession. Like, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Oh, what did you do? I ate some gummy bears. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. But we still have it in our minds, and our rhetoric is pulling off of this old approach. So our self-esteem and self-confidence is still being battered like crazy with a lot of these messages that are held off from this, only instead of now of saying you're the sorry sinner, you're doomed to a life of damnation, now it's you're addicted, right? You're addicted to your phone. You're addicted to sugar. You're going to do nothing but be lazy for the rest of your life. You're going to be fat, sick, weak, and basically a hopeless cause to yourself unless you can belong to the church of this gym or this dietary dogma or this Messiah who says this is the way you should eat or something. It's the exact same idea. You have to be saved from someone else who supposedly knows better, who someone else has this program that's going to save you from your sins. It's completely nonsense, because the only one who can never save you, quote unquote saved, is you. You're the only one who can pull the trigger. You're the only one who can make decisions that are best for you. I sure as hell can't do it. All the studies and research out there can't show you the promised land. You're the one who has to make the decisions for what's best for you. So you can see how that's a problem, because if you don't have confidence to make decisions, you're not making decisions. You're just following along. Now, that's not to say that the ideas out there and the experts and the research aren't valuable. It is, but it's valuable for inspiration. It's valuable for ideas. It's valuable to say, here, give this a try. But the attitude we have to it is everything, because you either have those things and say, well, they know what's best for me. I've got to follow regardless of what I'm feeling for myself, or that's an interesting idea. Let me consider that. Let me put that to the test and see what I get. Because that's the thing that's really going to help you. Isn't the research and the science. It's not the experience or the opinions of the other people out there. People all the time, they ask me about my opinion on things. What's your opinion on intermittent fasting? What's your opinion on coffee? What's your opinion on this new trend and stuff? The honest answer is 9 times out of 10, I couldn't care less about these sorts of things. But even if I did, so what? So what? My opinion matters like that much in the course of your life. Because honestly, seriously, if you wrote into me and said, Matt, what's your opinion on intermittent fasting? I wrote you this lengthy report. How much is that really going to factor into your decisions? How much are you going to just read what I say and say, well, this is what Matt says, so therefore I will never do intermittent fasting. Or that's what Matt says, so therefore I have to do intermittent fasting every other day, or whatever it is, right? I sure as hell hope not. Because I want you to make your own decisions on what's best for you. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't have the experience to have a valid opinion on such things. Because an opinion without experience is nothing more than a guess. Should you give up coffee? Should you do intermittent fast? Should you do fasted cardio? I don't know. Let me flip a coin and see what it says. Because literally my opinion is literally that. A random guess I'm just pulling out of thin air. Sure, it may be based on a study or two or my own experience, but so what? That doesn't make it any more valuable, because what really does make something valuable is your own experience. And I know that can be intimidating, because you're asking for opinions because I don't blame you, because a lot of stuff out there. It's like, you've got to get this right. If you make a bad decision, oh my gosh, it's going to be the worst thing ever. But here's something I have learned over the past couple of years, right? Remember, Red Delta Project has a principle-based approach to fitness. There are three basic approaches to fitness. There's method-based, where you base it off of a particular method. There's evidence-based, where you say, this is what the research says, therefore we follow it. Both are very good, totally valid. But then there's principle-based. Principle-based says, these are the laws that govern the human body and the universe as a whole. We're going to base our decisions based on that. And the more I get into principle-based fitness approaches, like I detail in my first book, Fitness Independence, the more I'm coming to the conclusion that the vast majority of things we keep considering in our fitness culture are small potatoes. Because in the grand scheme of things, the principles that are really in control of things, all of these things that we're considering and we think are so damn important are really actually very small influences that don't really matter one way or the other. So I'm willing to bet that when you're considering, should I drink coffee or not, you know what? If you do it either way, it's probably not going to make that much of a difference. So go forth into the experience. Go into the experiment, see what happens. Don't be too worried about it because chances are nothing's going to happen. But every once in a while you will come across something that does make a big difference. And I know that can be intimidating too, but don't worry too much about that either. Because let's say you try something and it really doesn't go so well for you. You're going to learn that real fast, and you're probably not going to get too far down that rabbit hole before you realize it. So it's going to be really easy to say, nope, this is not the way I'm supposed to go. You turn around, you come back, no harm, no foul. But now you have the valuable experience to know that's not my bag. That's not what I should be doing, which is vastly more important and powerful than any other information or opinions out there. Or you could go down a path and it's really, really good. In which case you're like, this is great. I'm going to keep doing this. And again, once you're on that path, all of the other information and opinions are pretty much invalid. In my own experience in the past couple of months, been doing overcoming isometrics. Results have been off the charts fantastic. Totally changed everything around for me. Now I've got a lot of people giving me research studies, giving me opinions about how I'm wrong or that it's not as valuable and it doesn't work and stuff. None of that matters because I tried it, fantastic. End of discussion. It's the end of the story right there. Doesn't matter what the research says. Doesn't matter what other people think of it because 9 times out of 10, they haven't actually done it. And remember, an opinion without experience is just a guess. You cannot lose with this is basically what I'm trying to say. You cannot possibly have a bad outcome when you're doing your own experiments and trusting your own experience and your own self-awareness. And that's what's going to be far more powerful than anything else. All right, I'm done talking. Thank you so much again for listening. Check out these videos for more thoughts, comments, and questions down below. And as always, be fit, live free.